Is the hype over? Is Da Nang Da Nang still the place to be in Vietnam? Well, we're going to see. As you know, I lived in Vietnam for about 2 months, currently back in the States, but I see this creator, shout out to her, that girl, Sarah. It looks like she is leaving Da Nang. Let's see. We're going to see if it's clickbait or if it's valid.
This has to be the most popular question I get asked, so let's finally address it. If you're new, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a British migrant, foreigner, whatever you like to call me, currently living in Vietnam. If you're a
Expat.
regular, it's been a year, 7 months, and 2 weeks since I left England. Some would say that's long enough to form some pretty clear opinions about Da Nang. So to try and remove my bias, I'm going to go through the pros and cons at the same time for each topic. They do intertwine a lot, so I'm going to scrap the whole list method and we'll just discuss each topic as it comes.
Fair use, fair use. One thing I'm going to say is, oh my gosh, this scene is absolute beautiful. Look at this. Wow. Got me really thinking I want to be in Da Nang, despite everything that I've been through with it. By the way, I make content like this on a regular basis. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all of the above. I've been to 18 countries. Um, Recently came back from Vietnam, but this is super scenic. I gotta see what camera she uses too. This is nice.
Let's begin with the main reason I moved here. Da Nang is a coastal city, so you get the beach and you get the city. If you're not a beach kind of person, then at least you get the views. And if you don't care for the views, at least you get a coastal breeze. Da Nang as a city is a big, vibrant, hustling, bustling city. There's a river that separates the two, so you've got the city side and the beach side. It's just the
Right.
best of both worlds. I tried to rack my brains for cons of Da Nang being a coastal city, but honestly, I couldn't think of any. The beach ought to be a separate topic on its own. Central Vietnam is often referred to as the
Her
Gold
B-roll is
Coast of
crazy.
Vietnam because the beach is that long. And it's not just long, it's wide, it's soft, it's clean, it's beautiful. Da Nang in particular has about 5 or 6 different beaches. My Khe Beach, which is the main beach, has beach clubs going all the way from Son Tra Peninsula in the north, right down towards where you get to all the resorts, and you've got the private, exclusive resort life. If you love playing volleyball with random people or you want to mingle with the locals, go stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, boating, paragliding. You can go to the main part of the beach, which is more central of Mike. But then if you want a little bit of a luxurious beach day, you've got the resorts further down in the south. I really think Da Nang has a great beach life.
I will say her as a creator is very talented. The audio level, the consistency, the camera, her B-roll is super fire. She definitely can be great. I'm surprised she only has 18K subs, but shout out to her. It's that girl Sarah. If you want to go show her some support, make sure you leave a comment under her videos as well. Let her know you came from me and all that. But also to give her some support. I lived in excuse me. I lived in Ho Chi Minh, which is you know it's more city, obviously less beach, things of that nature. But we did have a uh, beach next to us, which I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. Give me 1 second. But yeah, we had a beach that was about an hour and a half. Maybe you take a little boat ride there, and then you arrive at that beach. But Ho Chi Minh, I had unfortunately my experience was less than ideal. I do love the people there. Vung Tau, that was the name of the beach. Yeah, Vung Tau. I do love the people there, but man, it was less than ideal situation. We'll say that, right? Bear with me. Let me pull this up here. Here we go. All right, let me switch over. Boom. So this is the beach that I visited frequently. It was about an hour and a half, roughly, from Ho Chi Minh. You would take, depending on where you're at in the city, but you would take like a bus or Uber ride, something like that, to the docks, and then from the dock, you take it by water, and you land there roughly an hour and a half. This, I will say, I love this more than the city. Right? They do have a big, yep, religious statue there, and people were laid back, more friendly vibe. Kind of felt like California a little bit, more outgoing. I love the vibe here, but I only got to stay there for one particular day, but it was definitely pretty dope. I always wanted to go to Da Nang. I just never made it around to there, unfortunately. So I'm glad that this creator at least got to experience it. At least somebody did, right? Shout out to Champagne Honey, one of my subscribers who actually was there. But let's play a little bit more.
The only con that I could think of was that maybe the beach clubs can't compare to places like Ibiza, Barcelona, Miami. I really don't know because I've never been to the places mentioned, but the beach clubs are small. The service is mediocre, the drinks aren't that great, the food is average. We'll cover all those topics.
Wait. What? I, I swear I didn't watch this, but what'd she say? Mediocre? Hold on.
Further down in the south. One that I could think of was that maybe the beach clubs can't compare to places like Ibiza, Barcelona, Miami. I really don't know because I've never been to the places mentioned, but the beach clubs are small. The service is mediocre, the drinks aren't that great, the food is average. We'll cover all those topics separately, but if you're coming here for like a beach club holiday,
See, y'all thought some people didn't believe me. I remember telling someone about my experiences in Vietnam, and she was surprised. Like, what? Everybody says they love Vietnam. You're the first person I hear to say this, right? And here, this is this lady right here, that girl Sarah. She's telling you her honest experience. Mediocre food, service was okay. Now, I'm not saying I exactly 100% agree with her. Obviously, I was in the main city and a few other surrounding cities, but I've never been to Da Nang. But I like creators like this who can be genuinely honest, right? She's just telling you her experience, and I respect that.
I don't think Da Nang is the best place. We've got one or two that are sort of average, but what supersedes everything here about the beach life is the luxurious, quiet resorts that I in particular love. Next on the list, Sonchar Peninsula. Where do I start with this one? I've got some serious cons for this one, but we'll begin with the pros, right? It's the most beautiful
Shout out to
backdrop
her
that
for keeping it
completely
real.
experienced
Shout out to
because
her.
luckily I haven't fallen ill.
My bad, my bad.
Air quality affecting almost like a landfill site. I have heard some people complain about the air quality affecting their health. Some people come over here and get ill and stay ill for about 2 to 3 months. I can't speak from
See?
experience because luckily I haven't fallen ill. The air pollution doesn't really affect me. I do know that my iPhone tells me that it's pretty bad air quality every single day that I've been here in Da Nang. My VO2 max seems to drop when I'm in Da Nang, and then as soon as I take a trip, it goes right back up. It's something that you definitely should take in your stride. And the noise and the traffic, the beeping, that's all part of the culture. We are lucky to have found a house on a road in a really quiet residential area, and I'm sure you will too. Keep on hunting, stay away from the city side and like the main busy hectic areas if you do like a quiet peaceful place, but you can find some pockets of quiet around Da Nang. Let's talk about Vietnamese people next. I think for Vietnam, this is one of the biggest pros. They're some of the warmest.
I swear to you that I did not watch this beforehand. But the fact that she's saying a lot of points that I said is crazy. What did I say about the people? They make the experience. It sounds like that's what she's trying to say here.
And friendliest people I've ever come across. And I know Asia as a continent is known to be warm and hospitable, but I feel like Vietnam takes it to a whole nother level. Nobody gets a cold reception. From the minute you are exposed to Vietnamese people as a foreigner, it's almost as if you're a celebrity. They are so happy to see you, they're always smiling, and they'll put in maximum effort to try and conversate with you. Some of the cons, however, are about communication. English is very limited here. You'll often have a better conversation with a 10-year-old child that's just had his English class at school than with an adult. And you can obviously use translator, but it's not always accurate. As a multilingual person, I love languages. I also just love putting in a little bit of effort with a new language and learning a few phrases. I can't get the tones right. I can't get the words right. Nobody could understand me. And apparently, Da Nang has the central Vietnamese accent. So it's a little bit like arriving in the UK, never being exposed to English, and the first accents that you hear are Scouse or a Scotsman. It would be so difficult to understand English, right? That's what arriving in Da Nang is sort of like. So my advice would be get a class if you're here long term. You could put a little bit of effort in, and I'm sure with more consistency, you'll be way better than me, and you will be able to get by with just a little bit of Vietnamese.
See, these are the creators I love supporting. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to subscribe to her channel. I recently just seen this, my first time seeing her content. Her face looks familiar though, so maybe I've seen her somewhere else and just didn't realize it. But I like creators like this who can be genuinely honest, tell you how they truly feel about a place. They're not sugarcoating, they're not trying to make people happy. They'll tell you the goods, bad, ugly, and everything in between. So I respect her for that. And a lot of the points she said, I experienced when I was living there. The people made the experience, the people were warm, people were friendly, and typically, yes, younger people spoke more English. Like if I seen someone who was like maybe 35, 40 years old or older, more times than not, they didn't speak English, or if they did, it'd be usually very little, one or two phrases here or there, where people who are like in their 20s or early 30s, typically they speak more English. So from my understanding, what they're trying to do is pronounce, going back to English teachers being in demand, what they're trying to do is make English more pronounced in Vietnam, right? So if you look at Thailand 10, 15, 20 years ago, maybe English was not as common. Now it's coming a lot more common to the point where if you meet someone who's like 35 and under and doesn't speak English, you're like, what? You know, because you're so used to them speaking English. Unless they're in a small rural city, okay, that's different. But I'm talking about like Bangkok, Pattaya, that thing, right? I think Singapore, not to get too much into geopolitics, I'm just going to touch on this point real briefly before we wrap up. But Singapore, if you notice, they used to speak a different language. And then they had a leader who said, I want to push this country forward, right? So he did some tax initiatives. He moved a couple things around, exchanged resources, did a long list of things. But one of the main things he pushed was English as a primary language. And allegedly, that's one of the things that pushed Singapore to be one of the powerhouses that it is now. And then some years later, you saw Malaysia begin to follow suit because they saw, like, oh, Singapore is rising. So, my theory for what I believe, and like I said, I don't want to get too much into geopolitics, but my theory is I think all of that part of Asia is going to follow suit with Singapore. So Malaysia's on board, Thailand in the last 10, 15 years or so. Now Vietnam is making that push so much that they're willing to pay people to work 12 hours a week, 15 hours a week, and you may make $1,200 being an English teacher. By the way, if you have any questions about being an English teacher in Vietnam, I can definitely assist you with that. You can leave a comment down below, or you can hit me up on IG and I'd be able to happily accommodate you. And China's been like that a little bit, you know, but I think like Laos and Cambodia is eventually in the next couple of years going to get with that as well, right? But that's just my theory, and I'm glad she shared her point of view and stuff like that. But yeah, dope video nonetheless.